Hey YouTube, so I'm back in the car once again. It's Black Friday today, and I wasn't intending on coming out to where I am, but I bought something off eBay a few days ago. It just happens today's my day off, and I arranged to come all the way down to Leeds. All the way down, it's not that far. It took me about an hour and a half to come and collect it. So it's, what is it now? Nearly 11:15. And just about a mile away from this guy's house, I passed the other side of that building there, which nicely, that car. Yeah, I had to stop for a moment there because there's a little bit of a choke. I've been well for the last few weeks and my throat's still quite bad. And occasionally I just get into a coughing fit, and that just happened just for a moment there. But anyway, what I was saying, this shop here, I haven't been here before. I've never even knew it existed until I was passing. Thank you very much for that. You can't believe some people, can you? Right, lost my train of thought now. But yeah, I spotted that, so I thought I'm going to come and have a look on the way back before I go into town. I'm going to have a walk around Leeds today, see what I can find. But it's, what is it now? 11:20. So I've got most of the day, and I'm going to go in there now. I don't know whether I'll get to film anything or not. I've never been in, so I don't know it that well. And I think I just had my finger over the microphone for a moment there, so I don't know whether that came out. But like I was just saying, I've never been, and didn't even know it existed, because I've never been in before. So I don't know what the situation is inside there, whether I'll be able to film anything or not. Anyway, let's go and have a look. So once we got inside, it's quite a decent area there. There's a little rotating stand with Blu-rays and video games. Not an awful lot on here for me. I did find one game that you'll see shortly that actually I didn't catch while I was recording. It was after I finished recording and I found it hiding behind something. But as far as the Blu-rays are concerned, there's nothing here that can't be got in CEX for no more than £2, I wouldn't imagine. And I think all the Blu-rays were £2. Video games range between £1 and £2. And there was a Blu-ray that you'll see right at the end of this clip that I found on there. It was a tin for a DVD set, but then inside was the Blu-ray of the movie, which was weird. But there was nothing special here. There was, like, you could probably see those 24 box sets. Pretty much every charity shop has those these days, and I don't think anybody actually buys them. But as far as the DVDs are concerned, it's all the usual stuff. There was nothing that really caught my curiosity, even at £5 for £1. So unfortunately, there was very little for me to buy. And yeah, here's this tin, iRobot, Will Smith. But yeah, I wasn't interested in that. So back in the car, and yeah, it's pretty big in there. I did get a whole bunch of very fragmented clips. So I don't know how it'll come together. There was a lot of people in there. For the first 15 minutes or so, there was one guy going through all the CDs, so I couldn't really get any filming in that area done. I bought one thing. It's actually a video game, but I'll show it anyway. PS2 Trivial Pursuit, £1. I had a look. It only sells for 50p in CX, but there isn't one in a CX anywhere near me, and this one's in pretty much mint condition as far as I can see. It's complete. It's actually complete with a train ticket as well in there, which I haven't really looked at. I don't know. Oh, excuse me. I haven't really looked at, so I didn't see where it was from. But yeah, happy with that. Like I say, CX have it for 50p, but no CXs near me have it. And if this had been anything other than, you know, pretty much nearly mint, I wouldn't have bothered. Whereas I don't know if I'll find another one. CX locally to me might get one eventually, but it's not something that I had to have. But I just like picking up weird video games for certain video consoles, I suppose. But yeah, I was very, and I mean very tempted with a couple of DVD players in there that I don't really need, which I got a few shots of those. So the first one was a DVD recorder. I can't remember the brand of either of them actually. One of them began with a VV. It wasn't Viera because I think is that Sony. But the DVD recorder also had a hard drive, but it didn't say how big the hard drive was, which is 15 quid. I couldn't see the remote, but it did say it came with a remote that was in the back. And the other one was just an ordinary DVD player, but it had VCD and SVCD compatibility, which probably means it's quite an old DVD player. And like I said, that one, it looks something like Viera, but it wasn't Viera. But I can't remember the brand. And that was reduced from 20 down to 10. And I got to say, even now I'm itching. Should I go back and get that? It's kind of a now or never situation, because I didn't check the miles, but the sat-nav told me I was an hour and a half ish. Actually, it told me I was an hour and 4 minutes, 2 hours and 4 minutes the first time, and then I got a different route, and it was just over an hour and a half. So I ain't going to be down here again anytime soon. Do I need it? No. I've got a bunch of VCDs, video CDs, but I also have a dedicated video CD player. But even a few of those aren't compatible because they're proprietary to the... Oh my God, I can't even get my words out. They are proprietary to the Philips CDI. And I don't see myself getting another one of them anytime soon because they're so expensive now. I mean, I remember when they changed hands for less than 30 quid. In fact, my last one I sold with a whole bunch of games for not much more than that, which I deeply regret now because, yeah, they're so expensive these days. So yeah, all I've got is one game so far. Where are we now? We're just after 12 o'clock. So I've been here probably an hour. My couple of false starts in recording, and yeah, I'm going to drive into Leeds and see if I can remember where the car parks are. I've got a fair idea, but it's all one way, and it's a very long time since I've driven around Leeds, so I don't know how much it's changed. So anyway, onwards and upwards. Let's see what we find. Right, so car park number 2, and a bit of light on that. It is 12:30, so it's taken nearly half an hour to get here. I don't think I've done that many miles. The road I know I wanted to go down, which I knew from where I was the way into Leeds. When I got to the junction, there was no right turn. I couldn't actually turn down there, so I had to go up to the next one, and knew that I was kind of heading in the right direction, but it was a really slow, windy kind of suburban-ish road with speed cameras every half mile, and traffic lights. The traffic lights, my goodness me, the traffic lights. But anyway, getting into the city centre, I remembered almost nothing. It's been such a long time since I've driven around this city centre, until I almost got to the car park, and then I kind of remembered
the way into the car park. I don't know how much this is going to cost me, but I've got a ticket, so I'll pay for it when I get back to the car. And so what I'm looking for while I'm here, I do remember back in the 90s, HMV had a massive 2-floor store inside a shopping centre. Whether that's still here or whether they've got a different store, where there's even a store. I'm pretty sure there's still a HMV here, but I don't know if it's the big one that it used to be. Obviously there's a CEX, which last time I was there, that was 2 floors as well. Again, I don't know if that's the same. Local one to me in Darlington used to be 2 floors, but they closed the first floor and have everything just on the ground floor now. So whether they've done that here in Leeds, I don't know. I also seem to remember there being a kind of a CEX knockoff store. It literally was exactly the same business model as CEX. Some things were cheaper, some things were more expensive, but it was obviously a different brand. I can't remember what it was, but I have a vague idea where it was. It's inside one of the shopping centres. I think it might be in the same shopping centre that the HMV was in. It's definitely in the same shopping centre where McDonald's is. I do remember, if it's still there. Other than that, I can't remember any charity shops here. There used to be a few retro, well, they weren't retro at the time, but there used to be a few video game stores back in the 90s. But I'm pretty sure they're all gone now. There may be other ones. But the thing is, video games in video game stores are expensive. I don't buy them in the... I'm not a massive video gamer. I'll buy something cheap in the charity shop if I see something that I think I like. But I won't go... same with CX. I'll buy a game in CX if it's less than a tenner, but I'm not going to pay stupid money for video games. I'm not that much of a collector. But yeah, we'll just have to see what comes about. Hopefully I can get some footage in HMV if I find it. As I recall, CEX, all the Blu-rays used to be in the basement in the store here, so filming there might be okay. And like I say, charity shops, I have no idea what's here. I can't honestly remember any charity shops here at all. So I'm going to get going and see what I find. Yeah, this has been another long chatty bit. Maybe if I can take some photos and maybe some footage, I can add that into this little bit here. Anyway, yeah, let's get going. So it's been a couple of days. It's now Sunday. So once I was finished in Leeds, well, I wasn't finished. My intention was at about, gosh, I can't even remember what time it was now. Maybe 3, half 3, something like that. I hadn't found a single charity shop. Now, I know I didn't get all of Leeds. Didn't walk around all of Leeds. It's, I don't want to say it's quite a maze, but there's a lot of off streets and little wandering ways you can go down through sort of very small, I don't want to say shopping centres because they're not, because a lot of them are quite boutique. But there's a lot of stuff there that I don't think was there last time I was there. It's been a long time. I think I maybe have been once, maybe 5 years ago. Because there was a store that I remembered from the last time I was there, which was, I mentioned before, which was kind of a clone of CEX. And I'm blanking on the name. Was it Trade It In, something like that? But it looks, I mean, it doesn't look just like CEX. If you remove all the branding, yes, it looks just like CEX, but it's completely branded different. And I forgot to put this phone on airplane mode before I started. I'm getting notifications coming through while I'm recording. Yeah, I knew exactly where that was. As it turned out, I ended up parking in the car park right on top of that. But But like I say, I couldn't find a single, at least to start with, I couldn't find a single charity shop. And I'm pretty sure there's parts of the centre of Leeds that I maybe missed. What I also couldn't find was HMV. Now, I mentioned, I remember HMV being a massive 2-storey store inside one of the shopping centres. And I found where that store used to be, and it wasn't HMV, and I didn't expect it to be fair. But I also have a memory of another store. This wasn't till I got outside near CEX and a bit further up the road from CEX. I remember there being another HMV. Now, whether there was 2 HMVs in Leeds at the same time, I don't know. I doubt it. But I remember there being another HMV further up the road there, which wasn't in a shopping centre. It was the frontage was outside. Because I used to buy Star Trek VHS tapes in years and years and years ago. And I walked down there, and I couldn't pinpoint exactly which storefront it was, but there wasn't one there. And I checked on the phone on maps to try and find the nearest HMV, and the 2 nearest, which were within a mile of where I was, said they were permanently closed. So there were obviously stores that were no longer open. And the next nearest one, it said, was Wakefield, I think. So I was getting a bit downhearted. I was thinking, is there really no HMV? And like I was saying, at about 3:30, something like that, I decided I was going to go and get something to eat, go back to the car, take stock, and go from there. Anyway, as I was heading back to the car, I found HMV, and it was literally just a few stores up from the Trade It In store. As I came out the car park, I came down in the lift, and then there's the shopping centre is kind of on dual levels, but not 2 floors, if that makes sense. So you come down an escalator to get to the lower level, but there's nothing above. It sort of steps down. And as I was coming down that escalator on the way out, HMV was pretty much right behind me, and I completely missed it. So yeah, I was just about to head back to the car, and I found HMV. So I must have been in HMV for more than an hour. And I've got a bunch of pickups here from HMV, but I'm thinking, because it was Black Friday and they're all Black Friday deals, I'm probably going to do that as part of a Black Friday pickups video when the rest of that stuff does arrive. There's a couple of things arrived actually this morning from Amazon. I say this morning, it was probably after lunch. And I've got something else coming from Amazon. I've got, I think, something coming from HMV or Zavvi, one or the other. I think it's Zavvi actually. So once all that comes in, we can I can do a video. This has been a long natter. Right, let's get the rest of these pickups. So, as I mentioned, I struggled to find any, and it was weird, you know, even though it's been a while since I've been to Leeds, almost every town that I go to, even if I've only been once, or if it's been a while since I've been, I kind of have an idea of what charity shops are. I certainly have a memory of specific charity shops I visited, but in Leeds I didn't have that. I had no memory or any inkling of where the charity shops might be. But I did find a couple a little bit later after I'd been in HMV. There's another indoor shopping centre sort of a bit further up from where I parked that I went into. I remember many years ago, like 30 years ago, there was a nice little what you would call now a retro video games stall, but back then it was just a video game store, because the current video games were Mega Drive and Super Nintendo, and maybe I think, I want to say it even predates the PlayStation. Anyway, I went up there and I found a couple of charity shops up there. British Heart Foundation, which is the most sensibly priced British Heart Foundation I've ever come across. So it's been a couple of days. It's now Sunday. I didn't get a chance. I didn't get a chance to film once I got back to the car. Long story short, by the time I got back to the car, which was later than I expected, I saw. It never occurred to me to see what the parking cost was on my way out. And when I got back, my jaw was literally on the floor when I found out it was going to be over £3 per hour, and I'd been there almost 5 hours. And if I'd started filming, I would have certainly had to pay for another hour's worth of parking. So yeah, I didn't do that. But rewinding a little bit, I was heading back to the car probably about 3:30, something like that. A little despondent that I hadn't found any charity shops, and we're going to come back to that in a moment, or at some point at least. But also I hadn't found HMV. Now I knew I remembered where HMV used to be sort of 25-30 years ago. It was a massive 2-level store inside a shopping centre, a small shopping centre. And I found exactly where that store used to be, but I didn't expect it to still be there. But I seem to have a recollection of another store just not far up from CEX, or where CEX is now, which was, as opposed to being in a shopping centre, outside. But that store, I didn't expect to find that store there either. I'm pretty sure that moved years and years ago. But I did look on maps to try and get directions to the nearest HMV, and the first two that it came up with, it said were permanently closed. And the next nearest one was in Wakefield. So I was thinking, is there really no HMV in Leeds? Now, it never occurred to me to go on HMV's website and just check on there. So yeah, I was heading back to the car, and lo and behold, literally right below the car park I was parked in was HMV. I'd completely missed it on the way out. As I was coming down the escalator, it was kind of almost behind the escalator. So as I was walking away from the escalator, HMV was behind me, and I completely missed it. I do have a bunch of HMV pickups here, but I'm kind of thinking, as they were all Black Friday deals, it was Black Friday after all, I'm probably going to show them in a Black Friday pickups video when the rest of the online pickups arrive. Some Amazon ones arrived today, or two, I should say. Amazon ones arrived today that I ordered on Friday. I've got at least one more coming from Amazon. I think I've got something coming from Zavvi, I believe. So I'm not going to show them in this video. They'll be in an upcoming video. Now, going back to charity shops, I did eventually find two. One was a British Heart Foundation, which I got a couple of things in, and the other one, I'm struggling now to remember what it was. I want to say Scope, but I'm maybe mistaking it from the one I visited before I went into town. But it was I'm sure it was a purpley coloured storefront, or blue. Anyway, I didn't get anything in there, but what I did get in the British Heart Foundation, and this for me was the best priced British Heart Foundation I've seen in a very long time. Now, it's been, or ever maybe, it's been a while since I've been out looking through the charity shops prior to this. So one thought maybe was, British Heart Foundation have finally come to their senses and started pricing sensibly. Alas, I don't think that's the case. But the first thing I spotted, I was going through the Blu-rays. Most of them were priced at 50p or £1. This one was 50p. Nativity. Still haven't seen this film, but it's the perfect time of year to be watching it. And I'm fairly certain I've got 3 of these. I believe there's 4. I think I've got 3 of them on DVD. This one included, I'm sure. But yeah, still not managed to see it. So for 50p, why not? And a brand new sealed copy of Spooks Series 5 for £1. And all the box sets were priced between £1 and £3, depending on what they were. Most of the DVDs were 50p or £1. And like I say, the Blu-rays, possibly the Blu-ray box sets would have been more expensive if they hadn't, but they didn't. They were all 50p or £1. I went round Stockton yesterday just to have a look, and went through some of the charity shops. No luck, but the British Heart Foundation there was, as it's always been, way overly priced. So unfortunately this is probably just one anomalous store with more sensible prices, but happy to grab them. I know I own Series 1 and 2, but I don't think I've got 3 and 4. In fact, I'm certain I haven't got 3 and 4, and I don't know how many more there are after this, or whether this might be the last season. I'm not sure. I know it's an updated cast compared to the first couple of seasons or series. So happy to have added those to the collection. So moving on to Trade Me In. Is that it? I'm just looking at the sticker on the box. So I thought it was called Trade It In, but it's Trade Me In, which, like I say, is the kind of clone of CEX. I need to check their website actually, see how many stores they've got, if it's just a one-off. Yeah, if you take away all the branding and the store names, the stores are almost identical. Trade Me In's probably a little bit smaller inside than most CEX stores, and the pricing is mostly 50p or £1 under CEX for the stuff that I looked at least. But I did get a couple of things in there. One thing I did notice though, we'll go through these and then I'll chat a little bit more. Otherwise we're just going to be watching me whittering on. So I got for £1 another Hunger Games, just for the red case. Not the first one I bought that day. Actually, probably was the first one I bought that day, but not the only one I bought that day. I still have a few Marvel 3D Blu-rays that are missing a double disc case. So yeah, grab that. I don't think I've ever seen this out in the wild. I've certainly never seen it in a CEX. And I was shocked to see how cheap it was. £5.50. Stargate Universe Season 1. It is only £6 in CEX, but there isn't one anywhere close to me that, or at the time, anywhere close to me that had it in stock. Now, the last time I checked online, there was no Season 2 Blu-ray available anywhere of this. So I was quite shocked when I got home, and I did actually looked on Blu-ray.com. There is now a complete series box set, Blu-ray box set in America, which I think is region free. I want to say it's region free, but it's mega expensive, like £50-60, which is more than I want to pay. Funnily enough, when I was in town yesterday, I saw a DVD set, Stargate Universe DVD set, and I thought, oh, I hope that's series 2. It wasn't. It was series 1. Sadly, but yeah, I really enjoy this. So I'm looking forward to getting back on this. I haven't seen it since it first aired back in 2013, 14, 15. I don't know. I can't honestly remember. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I just watched this week to week. Really good show. Just a shame there's no UK release of season 2 on Blu-ray at least. But hopefully I can get a DVD until there's a Blu-ray out there that I can afford. Then moving on to CEX. This was the last of the pickups for Friday, other than HMV, and this was all bought on vouchers. So another Hunger Games, again for £1, strictly for the red case. The last of these movies, one I didn't own, and 2 I've never seen. I've seen the other 2, I've not seen this one. I can't remember what the reviews were like for this, whether it was good or bad. I know the second one wasn't great. I want to say maybe this was better received than the second one. I don't know why I'm saying that. I honestly can't remember. But something inside me saying that this is maybe a better film than the second one, but I can't remember. But yeah, I've got all 3 now. That was £3.50. An 88 Films release, Delirium, in a bit of a not great but not too bad, too badly made slip box. I don't like the way that they always leave a big gap where I don't like that, but yeah, there's not much I can do about that. But yeah, Delirium, one I'd completely forgotten about been released until I saw this, but for £8 it's got poster and, is it cards or a booklet? Poster and booklet inside. So yeah, chuffed to have found that. And then finally, 101 Films release, Rage of Honor. So I'm going to be looking for another red case for this. Single disc one, this one. Shukasogi, the Ninja. Is this the one I've got on? No, it's Pray for Death I've got on Arrow US, but this is available on Arrow US as well, but I don't own it. So yeah, that's other than HMV, that's Black Friday in Leeds. So not an awful lot. Was it worth the trip? Well, if I'd made the trip, probably not, because most of that I could have picked up elsewhere at some point, mostly in CEX. But I was down there anyway, like I mentioned, to something that I bought on eBay that couldn't be posted, so I had to drive down and get it. It only took an hour and a half, I think, to get there, maybe not even that. So while I was only a few miles out of town, or out of the city I should say, it just seemed sensible. It's a while since I've been to Leeds. It's a long time since I've been to Leeds actually. So I thought, yeah, let's do it. Anyway, there's going to be something I meant to, I took a whole load of pictures and I completely forgot, so this might get somehow segued into the video, or I might just do it here. So trade me in. If people remember, a few years ago with CEX, they got completely lambasted online about their policy of reprinted covers, and they used to just reprint a cover, stick it in a box and sell it. And they did it with video games, they still do it, but they did it with video games and Blu-rays and DVD, pretty much anything that's missing a cover, whether it's been stolen or what, I don't know. But now they put a little disclaimer in there, a kind of triangle in the corner here that says, did it say reprinted cover or something like that, to say that it's not a real cover. Whereas previously they printed the covers and then they would have, that's not a great example, something I can open. So it would just have a white cover like that, and then there would be just the CEX logo printed in the middle of the back of the cover there. So unless you open the case, which not like everybody does, I mean myself included, often something gets bought and put straight on the shelf when you get home or after doing a video. So yeah, there was a whole hoo-ha about it a few years ago, and quite a few people made videos on YouTube taking CX to task about it, and I don't know whether that was the reason why they changed, but they changed and put the thing in the corner there. I don't have any of those because I avoid those like the plague. But going back to Trade Me In, they have quite a novel way of doing their reprinted covers. They're not reprinted covers at all, and I've got some photographs which I'll put on the screen hopefully now. So basically they have a template cover that on the front they will have somebody draw something to do with the movie that or TV series that's missing the cover. There was one or two that just had the name written on the front. I guess it was such a either an unknown or well, yeah, not very well known movie that they couldn't actually put anything that would, most of them, they put something on the cover that you would know immediately, I would think, what it was. So with Batman, there's a Lego Batman, they just put the Batman symbol with Lego underneath, things like that. But like I say, I've got some photos, hopefully they're coming through right now. I just thought it was quite funny that they've gone completely the opposite direction to CEX, who tried to fool you into thinking you're getting the real cover, but it was actually reprinted, where these are so far away from the real cover. And quite a few of these had a whole 5% discount because the cover was missing. I mean, I wouldn't buy one of them anyway, but 5% discount is, quite frankly, a slap in the face. Why anybody would want to pay for that? Anyway, I just thought that was quite funny. Yeah, so thanks very much for watching, like I said, and what have we got coming? I'm not going to make promises that I'm going to be back doing this as often as I used to, because I just don't love it like I used to. I don't know why. I've just kind of lost the that's something that I used to have for filming videos. Maybe that'll come back in time, I don't know, but I'm definitely, I've just said I'm not going to promise, didn't I? Hopefully I'm going to do a Black Friday pickups. I've still got a parcel that I need to open. I had every intention of recording an unboxing of that parcel, and then I was sick for a few weeks. I lost my voice for some time of that, so it's just been sat here waiting. So I really need to do that, but after that we'll see. Christmas is only a few weeks away, although I'm not expecting much in the way of physical media for Christmas. Maybe off my dad, but other than that, most people are hopefully getting me vouchers. I want to buy a new printer for my computer. Kind of for this hobby, but also just because I need a new printer. I don't use them that often, but it's been a few times over the last couple of months that I've had to go to my mother's and get some stuff printed on her printer. So yeah, I'm probably going to put those vouchers that hopefully get for Christmas towards that, rather than buying physical media this time. But anyway, that's it. Enough waffling. I'll catch you in the next one. Fingers crossed.